You may not be losing friends because you understand people too well. You may be losing them because you become too certain about what they mean. A friend takes longer to reply. Their tone changes. They laugh with someone else but barely react to you. You notice it. That part may be completely accurate. But then your mind does something more dangerous. It explains it. They're annoyed with me. They don't really like me. They're slowly pulling away. And now you are no longer responding to what happened. You are responding to your explanation of what happened. This is where intelligence can become complicated. Not because intelligence makes you antisocial, but because a mind skilled at detecting patterns can also become skilled at turning incomplete information into a confident explanation. You notice details other people miss. Then you connect them. And sometimes, you connect things that were never actually connected. That is where one small moment can become the beginning of an entirely different story. Imagine your friend cancels plans. They say something came up. That is the fact. But your mind wants the reason. They would have kept the plans if they actually cared. Now you have an interpretation. And once the interpretation feels true, your behavior changes. Your reply becomes shorter. You share less. You become slightly colder. Not enough for an argument, just enough for them to notice. Your friend feels the change. They don't know what caused it, so they become more careful. They talk less. They stop trying as hard. And then you notice their distance. There it is. Proof. But did you discover the distance? Or did your reaction help create it? Now imagine this happening again. Someone else cancels. Someone else seems distracted. Someone else says something that feels slightly off. Your mind remembers the previous experience. Then another one. Then another. The events are real. But the conclusion grows beyond the evidence. People always change. People always lose interest. People always disappoint you. One event has become a pattern. And once your mind believes it has found a pattern, it starts searching for the next example. The person who replies quickly becomes normal. The person who replies late becomes evidence. The danger is not that every conclusion is wrong. The danger is that a conclusion supported by selective evidence can start feeling like objective truth. Eventually, you stop thinking, "This person did something I didn't like." You start thinking, "I know how people are." That is a much bigger claim. And now, every new relationship is being judged by old evidence. A delayed reply is no longer just a delayed reply. It is another example. A misunderstanding is no longer just a misunderstanding. It confirms the pattern. You are no longer meeting people as individuals. You are comparing them to a theory. This is how a pattern becomes a belief. And a belief does something more powerful than explain reality. It filters reality. You notice the people who confirm it. You remember the moments that support it. You overlook the moments that challenge it. Not necessarily because you are dishonest, because the human mind prefers a consistent story. And the more analytical your thinking becomes, the easier it is to build a convincing explanation for why your story must be correct. But a convincing explanation is still not proof. Now the belief begins changing how you behave. You trust more slowly. You share less. You expect disappointment before anyone has disappointed you. And people can feel that. Someone new tries to get close, but you keep part of yourself protected. They open up. You remain careful. They make one mistake. You remember it. They try again. You are still watching. Eventually, they sense that nothing they do is quite enough to make you trust them. So they stop trying. They become distant. And suddenly, The belief is confirmed. See, I knew they would leave. But perhaps they did not leave first. Perhaps they responded to the distance you created. You can believe you are avoiding fake people while treating uncertainty evidence of dishonesty. And eventually, your loneliness begins to look like proof. The belief said people would leave. People left. Therefore, the belief must have been right. But the belief may have helped create the ending it predicted. Some analytical, highly self-aware people end up with fewer friends for a reason that is far less flattering than "I just have higher standards." Sometimes they become too confident in the story they have built about people. They notice behavior. They assign meaning. The meaning changes their behavior. Their behavior changes the relationship. The relationship produces a reaction. And the reaction appears to confirm the original meaning. Then the process repeats with someone new. One event becomes a pattern. The pattern becomes a belief. The belief filters reality. And reality begins appearing to prove the belief. So the next time someone acts strangely around you, separate two questions. What actually happened? And what did you decide it meant? Because you may be completely right about the behavior and completely wrong about the reason. And maybe that is the most dangerous thing about being certain you understand people. Not because everyone leaves, but because everyone who gets close is slowly taught to.